and the All Indiana Podcast Network. This is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hello, I'm Jeremy Jenkins, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 Podcast for Monday, January 27th. We begin with news on the city's east side, where police have arrested a 15-year-old in connection to a series of robberies. IMPD says those robberies started last weekend when the suspect robbed multiple food delivery drivers at gunpoint. There were 3 instances in total, all of which IMPD responded to. IMPD says they used GPS monitoring for a pending case to locate the suspect. He was arrested on Friday. Police did find what was thought to be a handgun in the home, but later determined it was a BB gun. In other news, nearly 20 people and animals are without a home after a fire broke out at an apartment complex on the north side of the city. The fire started just after midnight at the Edison and Meridian Hills apartments. Fire crews say one person had to jump from their apartment just to get out. Thankfully, no injuries have been reported, but 12 apartments were damaged. There is still no word yet on what caused the fire. Local church leaders are speaking out, saying they will do whatever they can to protect their congregations from potential ICE raids. This comes after a recent order from President Trump that now allows law enforcement to make arrests in sensitive areas like churches, schools, and hospitals. Reverend Dr. Charles Harrison told News 8 he is worried this change will create fear within the community.
I think it would be more appropriate for them to detain them somewhere other than in these sacred dwelling places and in schools. I just think that's not the right approach, and not that we are against what the president is trying to do, when it comes to, bad people who have come into this country. But we believe that particularly for me as a pastor, that the church is not the place to make an arrest in front of people who are coming just to worship.
Local grassroots coalitions like Alma of Indy say they are working to provide immigrants with legal resources and help them prepare for what to do if they are arrested by ICE. In Jasper County, Indiana State Police say a person is dead after a police shooting. Police say it happened around 4:15 yesterday afternoon. They report that the incident began with a traffic stop on State Road 14 near the Pulaski County line. According to authorities, the suspect resisted arrest, leading to an altercation where the officer fired their weapon. Police say the suspect was armed. So far, the victim has not been identified. Let's talk sports. The Kansas City Chiefs are aiming for a three-peat. They will face the Philadelphia Eagles in Super Bowl 59. The second time in 3 years these two teams have met in the big game. The Chiefs punched their ticket yesterday in the AFC Championship. With just minutes left, kicker Harrison Butker nailed a 35-yard field goal to seal the win over the Bills, 32-29. Meanwhile, the Eagles dominated the Washington Commanders in the NFC East Conference Final, scoring 7 touchdowns in a 55-23 blowout. These teams last squared off at Super Bowl 57, where the Chiefs edged out the Eagles 38-35. And a little closer to home, IU point guard Miles Rice took the blame for another tough conference loss yesterday against Maryland. Rice missed a three-pointer with just 3 seconds left, sealing a 79-78 defeat for the Hoosiers. IU had battled back from a late 10-point deficit, putting them within reach of a win. Rice said he's taking the heat for the loss, while Coach Mike Woodson called it a matter of experience, saying he needs to guide his team better.
We had our opportunities. We had a foul to give, which we talked about in a timeout and didn't give it. And so that was huge. I mean, you got to make plays down the stretch, and I got to get them to understand that. Anytime you lose, it's tough to swallow. I don't like to lose at all. I mean, it's just my makeup. And I know those guys in the locker room, I love them to death, and they don't like losing. But again, I got to help them more.
IU now faces a brutal schedule ahead with games against Purdue on Friday, followed by Michigan State and Wisconsin. When it comes to the weather, milder temperatures are coming back, but Storm Track 8 says you may still need to bundle up. Meteorologist Tara Hastings has your News 8 Daily 8 forecast.
I think we will see the 40s after the chilly start, but it is going to be a bit breezy, maybe a bit windy at times today. So the gusts could reach about maybe 25, 30 miles per hour. But I do think we're going to see lots of sunshine. So a beautiful afternoon expected. Take a live look here in Speedway. Isn't this gorgeous? Bright blue skies out there, 28 degrees. In Indianapolis with the southwest wind at 14 miles per hour. Currently, and I do think again those breezes are going to pick up later this afternoon, but that is creating feels like temperatures about 10 degrees colder than the actual air temperature. So our wind chill value coming in right now at 17. We're at 25 in South Bend, 28 in Muncie and Kokomo and Lafayette, and again those feels like temperatures into the mid and upper teens right now. All right, let's widen the view out here and show you the visible satellite picture, and we are clear statewide, but we do have some of that snowpack here sticking around across parts of Indianapolis. I think as the week goes on with sunshine and these warmer temperatures, that snowpack is really going to fade away. So temps today, 38 degrees at 2 o'clock. And I do think later this afternoon, those temperatures are going to be climbing into the 40s with those winds gusting at times right around 30 miles per hour. We'll talk about how long we will see these 40-degree readings, all coming up in my 7-day forecast.
To get a peek at Terra's full forecast, just head over to wishtv.com. And don't forget, conditions will change throughout the day. So to make sure you have the most up-to-date forecast, download the Wish TV Storm Track 8 app. And for a more detailed look at conditions, you can check out our Storm Track 8 weather blogs. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 podcast for Monday, January 27th. I'm Jeremy Jenkins for Wish TV, wishtv.com, or follow us on Facebook for updates.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go, connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.